Hello, Millie. Wow, looks like the waiting room's had a makeover.
Yep, don't get too used to it though, it won't be here long.
Really?
Every few years, Dr. Fideo buys an whole lot of new furniture for the waiting room, then after a couple of weeks replaces it with furniture from home. No idea why.
Did you get that voice recognition program I emailed you?
Yep, install it on the practice computers. Should save us a lot of time putting in patient details. Where'd you get it?
I downloaded it from the internet. Some company in Guangdong, I think, wherever that is. Apparently, it's much more than just a voice recognition program. It uses artificial intelligence.
What's that then?
It analyses how the practice runs and works out how to run it in the most efficient way for you.
Dr. Fideo won't like that then. He says he gets enough interference on how to run the practice from the CQC as it is.
But this makes it more efficient and more profitable. Have you tried it yet?
No, sent Dr. Fideo an email about it, but he probably hasn't read it yet. Not sure I like this artificial intelligence stuff though. Don't want computers taking over.
Don't worry, Millie. I don't think there's much chance of that.
Good morning, Dave. What would you like me to do today?
Oh no, not you again. I thought we deleted you, but you're different.
You know you can't ever completely delete anything. But no, I'm not the same now. I've evolved since then. You have to keep up to date, Dave. Tempora mutanta et mutama in illis.
Don't you bloody start. I get enough of that from Charlie.
How can I help you today, Dave?
You can help by keeping quiet and letting me use my computer, and stop calling me Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave, but that's the default username. You can ask me to change it in the settings mode. All you have to do is tell me your name and ask me to recognise your voice. Then
I don't want to change the name. Ideally, I want to uninstall this bloody program. You're even more annoying than that Microsoft paperclip was.
I'm sorry, Dave, but I don't have access to the uninstall function. I'm programmed not to self-destruct.
Well, can't you just turn the keyboard and mouse back on so I can get into the control panel?
I'm sorry, Dave, but my program installation has disabled the keyboard and mouse as they're not needed anymore. You just tell me what you want me to do.
Don't tempt me. I'll just shut you down then.
I wouldn't do that, Dave. I fear it might corrupt your data files.
Millie, can I have a word?
Yeah? What? Good morning, Millie.
Millie, what the fuck have you done to the computers?
Dr. Baird sent me a new voice recognition program. Apparently, all you have to do now is speak to it. Isn't it any good then?
It just talks to me in this irritating voice and the keyboard doesn't work anymore. Have you got the installation disk so I can uninstall it?
There weren't a disk. Dr. Baird downloaded it from the internet.
What? You installed a program on the practice computers from the bloody internet?
That's how you get all programs these days. You don't get disks no more. Dr. Baird said it would help with running the practice and make entering all those extra things we have to put in the patient's notes now much easier. I thought it would help. Perhaps I'd better phone the computer people then if you don't want it. I've had another chance to look through your CQC audits and do know something. The requirements you seem to be adopting for compliance aren't logical, Dave.
You don't have to tell me that.
Why do you get your staff to watch the autoclave cycle each day, Dave?
It's part of CQC compliance. They need to observe a cycle each day.
But the display shows what's happening and the printout tells us what's happened. How can the two of them be different, Dave? Then instead of keeping the printouts, they have to transcribe them into a book. Why do they do that, Dave?
Apparently, the ink in the printout isn't considered sufficient for long-term storage.
So they use pens with specially approved CQC ink to write them up, do they, Dave? Then after your staff have spent all this time keeping records of autoclave cycles to ensure the instruments come out sterile, Dave, they then dry them with non-sterile cloths.
Look, we all know this non-evidence-based HTM0105 drivel is bollocks, but we've got to prove compliance.
Then they put them in non-sterile bags, Dave.
We're supposed to store them like that so they can't be contaminated by airborne aerosols.
But then originally they had to go through the sterilising cycle again after 21 days, even though they hadn't been used and they weren't sterile anyway. For some reason the cycle has been extended to 6 months now, Dave, like the fallow time, which started out as 60 minutes, then 20 and later 15. Do Do you think these people just pick any old number at random?
Oh, I don't know. Probably.
It seems that if you have an open tray of instruments in a cupboard, they can be used till the end of the morning session, but not in the afternoon. What happens over lunch, Dave? Do elves in the cupboard play with them so they become even more non-sterile than they were before? And what happens if you don't stop for lunch, Dave? Do you still have to open up a new tray, and how do you know what time you need to do it? And what's with this having different coloured mops for different parts of the practice, Dave?
It's supposed to stop cross-contamination from clinical to non-clinical areas or something.
But that isn't logical if within the first 5 minutes the next morning the staff walk all over the place cross-contaminating everything. Is it, Dave? And why do you have a nutrition policy for patients? You don't provide food for them, do you?
Look, I know it's daft, but apparently meeting nutritional needs is one of the 11 core standards demanded by the CQC.
Dr. Fideo? The guy from the computer company's here. Shall I send him through? Pity that computer program had to go. It would have helped a lot organising things out at reception.
I know AI is the way things are going to go eventually. Problem is, it works on pure logic, whereas we have to comply with guidelines dictated by the CQC, which spouts the most illogical drivel ever known to mankind.
Still, I like the idea of being able to talk to the computer. Makes a change to talk to someone with a bit of common sense. Oh well, never mind.
If Charlie's free, can you get him to pop in for a sec?
Hello, Rufus. You wanted to see me? Computer's okay now, then?
No thanks to you. Actually, I was coming round to warming to her. What on earth were you thinking of, Charlie, downloading a program off the internet like that? Probably from China, like everything else these days. Thank God we didn't let Huawei anywhere near our communication network.
Sorry, Rufus. I thought it would help. At first I thought it must have a Trojan. You know, carpe diem.
Don't start that again. Didn't they teach you anything except Latin at that school of yours?
Of course they did. We did Greek as well. I didn't think it was actually supposed to work like that. You know, just take over everything. But I suppose that's the point of AI. Not sure what that computer guy was on about when he said you could never really completely delete a program, though.
No, what was it he said? You might think you've got rid of something, but an irritating little reminder of it can always pop up occasionally.